On June 23, 2018, an assistant coach by the name of Tham and 12 junior football players embarked on an uneventful cave exploration of Tham Luang Cave, located in the Chiang Rai province of northern Thailand. The most recent survey measures the known end of the cave system to be almost 11 kilometers, or 7 miles, containing many deep chambers, narrow passages, and tunnels beneath hundreds of meters of limestone. Under normal conditions, parts of the cave can be easily managed by visitors. However, during the rainy season, the cave can become flooded, making certain passages and chambers inaccessible, which increases the risk of exploring it. This is further reinforced by the warning sign outside the cave, which advises visitors from entering during the flooding season. It is not recommended to travel deeper than the initial entrance during those times without previous experience, proper equipment, or suitable knowledge. And one morning on June 2018, a group of boys and their chaperone learned that very lesson. June 23, 2018. 12 boys of the Wild Boars football team and their assistant coach, Tham, known as Coach Ek, had just finished practice. Coach Ek had promised to take the team on an excursion to a local cave, as being a wild boar meant more than just getting together to play football a couple of times a week. Within a few minutes, the boys were on their bikes heading up a road through farms and into the mountains towards Tham Luang. The cave is only a few kilometers from the football field, and it took them about half an hour to get there. The boys regrouped, switched from their cleats into flip-flops, and equipped themselves with flashlights and a coil of tight rope. Coach Ek took the charge and led the boys towards the entrance. They walked past a faded sign, warning visitors not to enter the cave during the rainy season, but they didn't pay much attention to that, as the heavy rains were still weeks away. As the boys stepped inside Tham Luang's impressive entrance chamber, they decided to explore. The first 600 meters or 2,000 feet of the cave system are made up of big rooms like the entrance chamber. Beyond that point, the cave narrows, and if you are claustrophobic, that is the point you turn around. But this didn't stop the group from continuing on. They continue on for about 1.5 kilometers and get to a point where the route makes a sharp turn and dumps into a T-junction called Sam Yak. From where the boys stand, the right-hand path leads to a lesser explored stretch known as the Monk's Series, and on the left, there's an opening that leads to the main cave. At this point, the boys have already spent 1 hour in the cave, and they should start heading back, but they all decide to explore a little further. They kick off their flip-flops, drop their backpacks, and head left. The boys wriggle through tight squeezes and boulder chokes, making their way further into the cave. Suddenly, they come upon a pool of water. Coach Ek pauses. He's been in Tham Luang before, and he knows that the cave can hold pockets of water along the route, so he isn't concerned. One of the boys offers to check how deep the water is and jumps in. He can touch the bottom with his feet. The rest of the team follows. At this point, the boys have hiked in almost 5 kilometers or 3 miles, and they have done most of it barefoot. The group has reached a point that very few people other than the most dedicated explorers make it to. Ahead lies another pool of water, with the cave continuing on. However, upon checking the time, they realize they've been inside for 3 hours already and must return before their parents grow concerned. The group rushes back toward the entrance. They swim back across the water they crossed on their way in, and suddenly they get confused. They should be approaching Sam Yak, but now there is a pool of water that wasn't there before. Tham Luang is flooding. Coach Ek wonders how bad the flooding is. He ties a rope around his waist and jumps into the water while the boys hold it from the other end. But the current is too strong and pushes him back toward the boys. The group agrees that they should rest and wait for the water to go down. Coach Ek leads the group deeper into a sandy part of the cave about 400 meters or 1,300 feet from a section called Pattaya Beach. As the evening goes on, one of the boys misses his birthday party and his family grows worried. They decide to contact the authorities, and a full-blown rescue operation quickly unfolds. Authorities call in the Thai Navy SEALs, the National Police, and other rescue teams from around the world. Local volunteers also pitched in, and initial investigations found the boys' bikes and cleats near the cave. About 3 days later, on June 26th, Thai Navy SEALs are able to reach the T-junction several kilometers inside the cave, but are forced back by rushing floodwaters while heading towards Pattaya Beach. The next day, a team of more than 30 American military personnel from the U.S. Pacific Command arrive. They are joined by British diving experts who enter the cave, but are also pushed out by the heavy flooding. At this point, the rescue is temporarily halted and water pumps are shipped in to drain rising floodwaters. On June 30th, the search resumes as water is constantly being pumped out and an operating base is set up inside the cave in Chamber 3. After days of intense searching, 2 British cave divers, Rick Stanton and John Valanthan, made a pivotal breakthrough in the Tham Luang cave rescue operation. They were able to discover the missing wild boars at Pattaya Beach on July 2nd. The team was immediately provided with essential supplies, including food, water, and medical assistance. Meanwhile, plans were developed to extract them safely from the cave. Initially, the rescuers came up with 4 different plans. Plan 1 was to teach the kids how to swim and dive with a dive buddy. The boys would be given full-face oxygen masks and expert diver buddies to guide them through the cave, back to the mouth. Plan 2 was to keep pumping out water and hope that the rain doesn't flood the cave again. Plan 3 was to drill into the side of the mountain, which would open up another entrance to retrieve them. And Plan 4 was to provide the team with enough supplies to last them 4 months until the monsoon season is over and the cave drains itself. In the end, they've decided to go with Plan 1. The diving option was considered extremely dangerous, but the priority was to get the boys out before the rains brought more flooding and debris into the cave system. Each journey took several hours, and dive tanks were strategically placed along the route to provide necessary air supply. To allow the rescue to occur, Richard Harris, an Australian anaesthetist, developed a plan to keep the boys sedated to prevent panic during the underwater journey. And about 40% of the boys' journey through the water involved diving, and in other parts, they were bundled into stretchers and carried or winched along ropes to the entrance. The Tham Luang cave rescue operation lasted for a total of 18 days, from the day the boys became trapped in the cave until the final members of the Wild Boars football team and their coach were safely evacuated on July 10, 2018. Unfortunately, amidst the remarkable success of the Tham Luang cave rescue, there were 2 casualties. A former Thai Navy SEAL, Saman Kunan, lost his life during the operation. Kunan made a dive from Chamber 3 to the T-junction close to Pattaya Beach to deliver 3 air tanks, and during his return, he lost consciousness underwater. CPR was attempted, but he could not be resuscitated and was pronounced dead on July 6, 2018. Another rescue diver and Thai Navy SEAL, Beirut Pakbara, died the following year from septic shock after acquiring an unspecified latent blood infection during the rescue operation.